we're all the same in a way. We have our fears, we have our dreams, and I want to start a conversation with people that are really different, but where we can talk at that level of our dreams and our fears and what's important to us, and find those common ground, find those bridges where we can cross, so we can be in dialogue and move past a lot of what's been keeping us pretty stuck.
Mm-hmm.
I also have always felt that compassion is the currency that we should be using, and that the times in which I've been able to live by that idea of compassion being the most important thing is when I felt the most connection with other people and the most joy. And for me, that's sort of the bottom line, is being able to approach people no matter who they are or no matter what they believe, with love and compassion. And that we need that to be able to dialogue with other people.
If you had a chance to sit down and talk with George Zimmerman or with the juror who's been very vocal about the case, how would you want to converse with them?
Well, I really want to ask about what they're afraid of. I mean, and not just the sort of surface, but at the deeper level. What is it that what are their fears, and how is it that they've experienced those fears? And to come to a way of understanding each other's fears, for them to hear what my fears are, to talk about what our fears are as human beings.
What would be fears that you would talk about to George Zimmerman, some of your own fears?
I'd want to talk about that fear of losing what you have. Because there are times when I have that fear of loss, of losing what I have, losing what I love, losing what I care about. I think we all have that fear of losing what we care about.
So it seems like you have a lot of faith in the power of dialogue.
I do. That's part of what I'm looking for, is respect. A way for me to learn and respect the position of those that I don't agree with. And also for people to come to respect my perspective. And because that's the only way we can begin to say, okay, we have this problem here, we need to solve it. If we have mutual respect for each other's positions, we can say, oh, you feel this strongly about this thing, well, let's talk about why. And let's talk about ways to approach this in ways that allow you to have a say and allow you to show what's important to you about it, and vice versa. Because we can't solve problems by just being in our own camp and saying this is what I believe and we are right. We can't solve problems that way. When you hear someone's very heartfelt desires and fears and all of that stuff, it has to be moving, because human beings are moving. What happens to human beings, what's inside them, is amazing. And no matter who they are, I think it's time. We have to talk. We have to find a way to dialogue and to approach each other and listen and hear. And maybe I won't find somebody. Maybe there isn't anybody who's willing to take that risk, because it's a big risk. I'm taking a risk, and they're taking a risk. And that's what it's about. It's about being willing to take a risk, being willing to be open, being willing to make a connection with love and compassion.